Previously on Gears.
All right, Disi, what we're doing?
Okay, today on my Disi's Double Ds, we're talking positivity and getting rid of clutter in our lives. We're chatting to Kate Emmerson, the quick shift diva.
Ooh.
The quick shift diva is like having your own favorite reality TV show bounce into your life. In a flash, your life will transform before your eyes. You'll fit into your heart and experience powerful shifts as you step into your life by letting go of all that does not serve you anymore. Kate's education in industrial psychology in her teens, training in aromatherapy, reflexology and meditation in her 20s, studying coaching in the UK in her 30s, and intertwining this with her lifelong passion of living light and clutter clearing allows her to offer you a totally unique outlook on life. Hi Kate, thanks so much for joining us in studio today.
It's fabulous. I've already had fun just sitting here being in the studio.
She said it's quite a CV you've got, Kate.
That was only
it's
it.
all
That was a
pile
little
of
bit.
bollocks, eh?
Yeah, it's quite a nice CV. I did some uncluttering over the weekend.
Yeah, of what?
My cupboards.
Your cupboards.
Yeah.
Are you being serious? Are you kidding?
Did. No. I had to take everything out because everything must be color coordinated.
Yes.
So I had, because the problem
I think
is...
you're winding me up, Sasha.
I swear. Oh, to God. Do you want me to take a photo?
Yes.
I'll take a photo and I'll send it to
Do
you.
you have a before and after? Those are always much more powerful.
No, I didn't have it before because you see the problem is people just come and then they put the shirts in the wrong place and then
people.
Yeah, people.
People.
Yeah, it's never me.
It's always the people.
It's people. It's people.
We
Anyway,
want
but
him to
we
do
do want a
before and after of the gym too, before our 12-week program.
Oh, you've got
goodness.
to do pictures.
We've got to do
Yes.
pictures.
And like maybe a 6-week mark. So I always encourage my clients, I've got an online website where people reading the book or doing my courses can come, and I always say do pictures because I always have that problem. I go into someone's house and 10 minutes after we start, nothing looks the same. And I'm like, I
Should have
forgot
taken a
the
picture.
pictures.
You have to have it
So now I
before.
get my staff to say, Kate, they come and prod me. Take the pictures.
Okay. But I'm sure you're talking about a lot of other uncluttering stuff as well.
Yeah, everything, but including the cupboards. But I do it from sort of 3 angles. So it's a triangle of body clutter. So all of the stuff we put in and maybe don't always get out of our bodies. So like weight, toxins, we were talking about those. Or the emotional clutter, that's a much bigger issue actually. So that's the coaching and the psychology side. And then of course the physical clutter. But everything from desk to cupboards to shoes to you name it.
Okay, tell
I'm
us more
feeling
about what you do.
So I literally do go into people's homes or offices, and a bit like those TV shows that you see, I go in and I rummage through stuff, but only obviously with the consent of my clients because they're doing it with me, and I help people shift all the stuff. Am I allowed to say the C word on?
Yeah.
And that's literally.
Oh, that word.
Yeah, that C.
Sure, okay.
Other C. And that's what I do. I help people shift their lives so that they can get on.
There we go.
Oh, now I've got everyone laughing.
There we go. Unclutter your sea.
I wanted,
that's
to, call,
it.
I
There
wanted
you-
to call my book Clear Your Crap, and they wouldn't let me.
Now you've got a square as opposed to a triangle.
I think I'm blushing too.
All right. Okay. So C's another word. No, I'm feeling decidedly inadequate right now when it comes to this uncluttering your body, what goes into your body. I'm good on the cupboards though. Okay.
You
So
know what, yeah, I
half a
think-
point for me.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be good at all 3. So I'm like really good. I'm a complete minimalist. I mean, I don't know if we can see, like, this is my handbag. And it's my only handbag. I mean, it's a little insane. A friend of mine's in Florence at the moment, and this is where it came from. And I'm like, I think it's time for a second bag. So he's sending me pictures, and I'm getting a blue one that's going to be delivered.
And just that size.
Just like this from
Oh my
Florence,
goodness.
very lovely, yeah. But I'm really good on the physical clutter and the body clutter from my aromatherapy. But the emotional clutter is often the harder one because that's
Yes.
the stuff that we go through and the layers of processing and relationships and people. And that, I think no one can ever get away from that one. So often when I
always
do
difficult.
talks, I say, have you got clutter? And people with tidy cupboards go, no, I'm super organized. And then by the end of it, they're all going, yeah, I think I might have a little bit of clutter because we're just talking
Fair.
about a much
Fair
bigger
comment.
picture. Yeah.
But what exactly is clutter? You're saying in 3 different aspects. What would you say clutter is within those 3 aspects?
So I give it like an umbrella definition, so it's easier for people to find themselves. And it is, I think you even mentioned it, it's literally anything that no longer serves you. So in other words, when you pick up something, or it can even be your husband or wife, when you look at someone, you say, does this person or little black dress, does it serve me now? So it becomes a way of getting out of judgment, out of guilt, out of the past, and just kind of going, do I need this now? So when you're looking at a cupboard, because that's often where people can sort of really relate, and you've got a little red dress or you've got that leather jacket, and you're kind of going, does this add value to my life? So those are the questions that I ask people to evaluate. Do I love it? So love it, not like it, love it. Do I use it honestly? And does it add value to my life? And that becomes a way of sort of evaluating, does it serve me now? And then it's a lot easier to let go. And my philosophy is, make some space, because nature doesn't like a vacuum. So make a little bit of space in your life, let go, and then you can create something else. So often people come to me, you were saying, what do I do? When they're stuck. They're not sort of creating things in their life, or they want a new job or a new partner or new clients or whatever it is. They want to move to a different country, but they're just stuck and stagnant. And often they think, well, I want something else to come before I let go. And my philosophy is do the letting go, do the work, do the processing, create some space in your life, feel a little, like you've got some energy, and you literally lift your body a little bit, and then you'll be able to go to the next step. So it's quite a spiritual concept for me.
That's awesome. I definitely need help on the clothing side because I'm so attached. My mom often visits me and she says, please, can we get rid of some of this stuff? But I always say, oh no, but I might need it in like a year's time if I'm going to something. Oh, but very
you see,
bad.
that's the irony. You get rid of the leather jacket from your cupboard, and 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, no, you get invited to an 80s party, and you need the leather jacket.
So that's always like, if you're one of the people that keeps things just in case, it'll always happen. You will find something like a week or two after you've let go to just go, you see, I shouldn't let go of that leather jacket. And then it just becomes a nice big fat excuse to hold on to everything. Talking of leather jackets, I was burgled about 3 weeks ago, and I had a beautiful Jack Daniels leather biker's jacket from when I had my bike. And it went, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to replace it. It was like a once-off. It was from America. And I felt that little bit of attachment. I'm like, this is what my clients go through every time when I'm sitting with them, and it is that emotional stuff of what does the jacket mean and what does it represent? And it represented a time when I had a Harley, and it's like, no, it's gone. I'm like, where's my jacket?
Now, let's talk a little bit about the emotional side. As you said earlier, it's a very, very big aspect of something. Exactly. And I'm sure people will get a lot more advice out of the book. But have you come across clients or whatever that are real hoarders?
Yes.
I mean, people who, I don't know, they've got a Valentine's card when they're 13 years old and they've still got it.
Very normal.
And then how do you change them?
So the bottom line is, people often say to me, Kate, can I give you like as a gift voucher to someone else? And I say no. So the first thing for me is people have to want to. So they've got to the point where they know it's either affecting them so badly, or it's just tripping them up, or someone in their life is going, you know what, this is no longer cool, we need to sort this out. So by the time they come to me, there's a willingness, and I think that is always the first step. So I don't take people that are kicking and screaming that don't want to do the work with me. So the willingness always opens up, like it paves the way. But we get to that box of Valentine's cards and love letters from the first, fiance, and there it is, that little hornet's nest. And it's about using the psychology in my coaching to be able to help people process that. So you don't just put it in a box and you shove it away. And it's a conversation of going, what does it mean to you? What does it represent? What would happen if you let it go?
Yeah.
And it's almost, it's a conversation about helping people through to the other side. And what does the holding on represent for them? And what is it stopping them from becoming or manifesting, if you want to use that
But the emotional clutter must be more difficult to get rid of,
it
or not
depends on
really.
people. So what happens is, if someone calls me into their home, that can often be an easier starting point for most people to think about. But for someone to invite me into their home is a huge step, because they often feel embarrassed, they feel shame, they feel guilt. They're like, oh my God, I should be able to do this. It happened this week where a woman said, I need your help, and her husband was like, are you crazy? You actually should be able to do this yourself. So there's often a lot of that judgment. And I completely forgot what you asked me. What was the question?
The emotional clutter. How do you, does that take longer to get rid of? I don't know. How do you work
So what
with
happens
that?
is, so for example, someone will pick up the pair of glasses, and that pair of glasses could represent a whole issue that happened in their life. So often a physical item can trigger an emotional response. And then it's like, okay, so we just sit and I deal with it. So I don't call myself an organizer. I really am able to handle sort of the bigger aspects, and I'm not scared of anything. So I always kind of go, I can do big homes, I can do big challenges, and I'm able to help people through that process rather than saying, oh, well, there, it's just a pair of glasses, because it's not. So it's really about meeting my clients and finding the enormity of what the object is, what the pain related to it might be, using processes like NLP or EFT. So I have kind of tricks and tips that I use in the moment to help go through rather than running away from it, because that's what typically my clients have been doing until I'm sitting there with them.
How long does the process take, though? Does it vary according to different people?
Yeah, and also it's also realistically how much time do people have, how much budget do people have. Often what happens is people will say read the book, and then they'll do what they can, and they'll go, I'm really stuck on this. So often wardrobes are one that people get stuck on, boys and girls. Offices, so paperwork is another one where people really battle to do it on their own because it's boring, it's tedious, it's like, oh, do I really have to do this? And then big spaces people battle with, like garages or junk rooms. So I'll say do what you can on your own, and that's what I really believe. I can help people through a process, so I give them the tools, and then call me on the bits, so we'll make it fun and we'll make it go quicker. And that's why I call myself Quick Shift, so we can do it like really like fast in a jiffy.
I think that's what people want. Okay, tell us more about your book.
So the book was never really going to be written, which is quite interesting because I've always had email courses. So if people didn't want to work with me face to face, I had sort of like autoresponders and online courses, and people could access me that way. And then last year, I run mastermind groups, and in one group, I was suddenly like, you know what? I need to turn this course into a book. So then I committed to it, and then I found a publisher, and here the book is. Less than a year later. So it really is about empowering people and giving people the belief in themselves that they can actually do it, given the right step-by-step process. So it's very practical. It's as cheeky as I am. It's no nonsense. People always say they almost think like I'm sitting like your Mr. Bobblehead, sitting on their shoulder, like nattering in their ear. They can hear my voice. I got a message on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, and this client said, Kate, I woke up in the middle of the night and I could hear you, and I started tidying and I started thinking of you. She goes, people think of you at the oddest times.
Sash, maybe you were dreaming about Kate.
Maybe.
That you didn't know who you were dreaming about.
Maybe.
And what's the 28-day step-by-step process?
So that is the beginning of the book is all sort of helping people understand their challenge around clutter in all 3 areas. And then I literally start going, okay, Disi, all we have to do today is your bedside table. And people go, oh, okay, I can do my bedside table because it's small, like in physical stature. You only need to dedicate an hour a day. And then when you've done something small, it's like, wow, okay, that wasn't so bad. And it instantly gives you a little boost. It gives you a little like, okay, I can do this. And the next day I'm like, okay, all we're going to do today is your bedroom. And every day I just give people bite-sized bits, eat an elephant one bite at a time, rather than being overwhelming. Whereas when I come in, what happens is I work with whole families, I bring staff, I work with client staff, and we create chaos and mayhem, and I'm like a conductor, and we do it really fast, but it's almost like we lift up the whole house, move it around, and put it back down again. But people really battle to do that on their own because it's like your cupboard. You have to pull your whole cupboard out onto your bed, and then you sit there and you go, oh, I need a glass of wine, or I need a cup of tea, or I must call my friend, because suddenly that pile is it's overwhelming, and you want to run away. And people know that, so they don't start. So I just take people through like trickle by trickle and step by step, and it's always like, you can do this, and people go, yeah, I can.
And how does it tell people, like, when they do get rid of the clutter in their lives? Do they become more productive? What differences have you seen in people?
So it's different for every person. I always get people to pre-decide what it is that they're wanting to create in their lives. So like I mentioned earlier, do you want a new partner? Do you want a new job? What do you want? So that they know when they're doing the process what it is they're making space for. Okay. I'm having a blank moment. My God, what did I have for breakfast? I keep looking at this and I'm like, what the hell did you ask me?
It's Sasha's bobblehead. It's distracted you.
It's very distracting. It's like
it's too good looking.
Well, it's too jiggly.
It's very cute.
Mr. Bobblehead.
Nothing wrong with a bit of jiggle in your life.
I want a bobblehead.
Yeah.
Are girls called bobbleheads?
Yeah.
Bobbleheads.
Now I was saying, do people become more productive?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank you. So people typically, and that's what I really love, people have given me their stories in the book. So there's real life kind of people sharing what's happened to them. So there's often a sense of complete opportunity, and creativity comes back because suddenly all of their attention isn't going to the stuff that they feel bad about. So you walk into the home and they feel wow. So they feel productive, they get more creative, they have better relationships because there's none of that stuff weighing them down. So it's like they've let go of all this poisonous toxins, you know. So magic happens with people. It's absolutely fascinating. The week before, I shot a TV show, like a pilot for a TV show. And the lady that came on as my client, she was a real story, and I didn't interact with her much before. And it was absolutely fascinating because she'd had a business before in recruitment, very specialized in a specific industry. And we finished tying up the pilot at 12:05, and then we were all sitting there having a glass of wine by the fire, burning some paperwork. And literally at 12:35, she got an SMS from a friend saying, so somebody I know has just been retrenched. They need someone to help them get back into the market. This was half an hour after we
Wow.
had done the clearing out of what she needed. It was so linked. It was like, I was like, that should be on TV. They said, no one will believe you. So it's,
That's
it's
awesome.
really, really awesome about the magic that happens.
Okay, how can people get their hands on this book?
Most bookstores have it. So on my Facebook page, so it's kate.emerson.page, there is a link with a list of all the bookstores, but I sell it off my own website. Can we give it out?
Yeah, of course.
So it's www, obviously, .kate-emerson.com. So I sell them directly. If people prefer ebooks, Kalahari's got it, English and Afrikaans. Afrikaans is Remyo Rommel op.
Oh my goodness.
And so book in English and Afrikaans and ebook in English and Afrikaans as well.
Okay, and you're also on
Awesome.
Twitter.
Yeah, I am Kate_Emerson.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Terrific.
I'm going to get rid of the clutter. Well, firstly in my wardrobe, so I'm going to follow the book.
Yeah, and then I think I'll have to get hold of your mom and say, has she actually done her wardrobe? Oh, that's one thing I want to say is that often it's really hard for the people closest to you to help you. You know what I mean? So like when your mother or your lover or your spouse or kids or whatever, it's often like, oh, shut up, what do you know?
Yeah.
You know, so often it's like it's really easier to have an impartial bit of information and knowledge. So there's 2 days on your wardrobe, so you must let me know how it goes.
I will definitely. Thanks
Brilliant,
so much.
Kate.
That
Thanks for
was
coming
very
through.
Thanks a
interesting.
lot.
All right, have a lovely day.
At the next intersection, turn on. Here's with Sasha Martinengo. Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.